Well, regardless of what happens from today on out, she has made history as the first ever female governor, either former or current, to seek the nomination in a presidential primary. That is huge. In and of itself, I think Nikki Haley understands that she exited the ambassadorship she had to the United Nations on not so great of a note. She was in that ambassadorship for a year. She was governor of South Carolina for 6 years, and that is what she's known for. That announcement today in her home state, it's no surprise she was met with so much fanfare. There's a lot of love for her in that state. But to announce this early, when Trump is the only person in the field, I think her calculation had a few elements to it. First of all, she wanted to come out of the gate super early to fundraise. She wants to show that she can fundraise off of the Republicans that have nostalgia for the party of yesteryear. I think she also knows that this is a very different Republican Party today. The electorate is very different since Donald Trump was the standard bearer and remains so. So in her heart of hearts, I actually believe that she knows she can't win this nomination, but I think she'll be just fine being somebody's vice president. And then thirdly, there is a lot to unpack here about the future forward. She is trying to figure out who she is. In her announcement video yesterday, and even in her speech today in person, she painted herself as somebody who was different, yet still the same. It's a bit hypocritical, if you ask me, and I believe she's going to have to overcome that challenge. Though let's not forget, she is in this race now, and this is, of course, far sooner than Governor DeSantis, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and former Vice President Mike Pence. The latter of the two, I believe, she's very aligned with policy-wise. So she's out there, and this is her race, and it also shouldn't be missed that she is the first ever prominent Asian American woman to seek the Republican presidential nomination. That's also another historic first for her.
That was an excellent analysis by Rina. I agree wholeheartedly that she's running for vice president. There's no question about that. That's what she's doing here. Notice in the speech, which I watched live, the entirety of it, there was absolutely no criticism of President Trump at all. And in fact, she made reference, of course, to her service, however briefly, with President Trump. And secondly, many of the lines in the speech and delivery could have been delivered by President Trump. So Rina's right. She's totally aligned. Youth is going to count for the vice presidency. You never know in life. Anything could happen to President Trump between now and the primary season and the nomination. So she would be a serious contender. But I agree, she's a very attractive VP choice from whoever wins the nomination, and certainly I think would be on top of President Trump's list, having served in his administration in the first instance, and secondly, as Rina outlined, totally aligned with his policies. But I think you're going to see this by virtually all of the serious candidates for the Republican nomination, and I don't think Liz Cheney and those outliers are serious contenders. They will be very much aligned with President Trump. The trick is, why switch horses for the electorate as a whole, not for Washington insiders to say about electability. So that's going to be the trick for Nikki Haley. You saw it today. There were no distinctions between the announced candidate, President Trump, and herself on policy issues.